Hello, welcome back to another baking video. Today we are going to be doing something nice and simple because we like to keep it simple, and we are going to be making a lemon drizzle cake. Now these are one of my favourites. I do love the flavour of lemon in the cake, and a lot of lemon drizzle cakes have different types of toppings. Many of the ones I see have a lemon icing on the top. This one has actually got a crunchy top, which I personally prefer. It's nice and simple. We're going to get straight into it. First of all, we are going to set our oven because I've not even turned that on yet. And if you are cooking with electric, it's 180 degrees centigrade. And if you are cooking with gas, then you want gas mark 5. Okay, our oven is on. Right, what we want is only a few ingredients on this one. We have 170 grams of self-raising flour. We have 115 grams of butter. I've used unsalted butter, but if you can only get normal salted butter, then that's absolutely fine. 230 grams of caster sugar. We have 2 eggs. The recipe calls for 1 lemon. As you can see, my lemons are rather small. So I've got 2. And we have 115 millilitres of milk, and I've used semi-skimmed milk. As with the majority of cakes, what we're going to do first is cream the butter and the sugar together. So I'm going to pop the butter into my bowl, add the sugar straight away, and we are immediately going to get into the whisking. So as always with most cakes, we like to whisk our sugar and butter until it's light and fluffy. We're then going to add our eggs. I'm going to add those straight into the bowl. I'm not even going to whisk them first or beat them first. Pop those straight in and then whisk that in as well. There we go. Once we've creamed together our sugar, eggs and butter, we are going to be adding in our self-raising flour, a couple of tablespoons at a time until that's blended in nicely. We're also going to add a pinch of salt into that as well. and a pinch of salt if I can get it out of the container. What What was the whole thing about chucking salt over your shoulder? I don't know where that comes from. Somebody enlighten me on the comments, would you? I don't know. I've now got salt on the floor, but there we go. So we're going to finish off mixing that in. At this point, the mixture starts getting quite dry, so you can start adding in your milk to the mixture as well. Again, a little bit at a time. That's all mixed together nicely. Now, it wouldn't be a lemon cake, of course, without our lemons. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grate my lemons, and we are going to add the rind of both these lemons. Like I say, the recipe calls for 1 lemon, but these are rather small, so I'm just going to add 2. And I like the lemony flavour, so I'm just going to... Okay, so my 2 lemons have now been grated. You don't actually get a huge amount of lemon rind from a couple of lemons anyway. So I'm going to pop that into the mix. Get as much in there as I possibly can. And then we need to give that one final blast with the mixer, and then it's ready to go in the oven. And there we have it. So our cake mix on this one is not overly watery, but it's not too thick either. So we're going to pop this into a loaf tin now. Because I'm never fully prepared for these videos, I haven't lined mine yet, so I'm going to quickly do that now. 1 lined cake tin. As quick as that. So let's put our cake mix into our lined cake tin. Now, for those of you who do not bake very often, you will probably, with a loaf tin, need to grease it first with a small amount of butter to get your parchment paper or baking paper to nicely sit within your tin. You can purchase loaf tin liners. That is the more expensive way of doing it. Okay, and then just spread the mixture, the cake batter, evenly out in your loaf tin. And then, before we pop it in the oven, taste the batter, of course. That's nice. Now, before you disappear and go and have your coffee while you patiently wait for your cake to cook, we are just going to make up our topping for the cake, and we can set it aside then and not think about it until the cake's cooked. We are going to take, if I can get my scales to work, We are going to take our lemons and we are going to cut them in half, and we are going to take the juice out of them. Now, if you're only using one lemon, then you will use the juice of one lemon. I have 2 small lemons. We're going to use the juice of both of them. If you don't have a juicer, it doesn't matter. I do have a juicer, but I find it a bit of a pain in the bottom. So what I simply do is squeeze my lemons into a cup. And then, because of any pips that might fall in, or any of the lemon skin or anything like that might fall in, I will put it through a tea strainer. Yeah, there's a few pips going in there, not a problem. And my last lemon segment. So I've got a good 55 millilitres of lemon juice in that one. So that's measuring at about 55 millilitres of lemon juice. However, I am now going to put it through the strainers because, of course, the pips will have some weight to it. Strain all that off. And there we are. We're down to 50 millilitres exactly. We're going to now add some caster sugar to our mix. So to our lemon juice, we are going to add some caster sugar. We're going to need quite a bit because we want the topping to be lemony and yet nice and sweet. And we are adding 60 grams of caster sugar. And we are just going to stir that together so that the caster sugar absorbs the lemon. Fabulous. And we are now going to just set that to one side until our cake is ready. So I tested our cake around 35 minutes and it needed a little bit longer. I just tested it by putting a clean knife into the center of the cake. It is now ready, however, so we are going to get that out. And there we go. Normally with most cakes, you would allow them to cool right down before you do anything to them. However, what we are going to do with this cake, this is my favorite bit, and to me, this particular topping sets the lemon cake apart from all the others. What we are going to do is take our clean knife, and I am just going to make small incisions across the cake, like that. And we are going to gradually spoon over our lemon juice and caster sugar mixture. What's going to happen is the holes we've made is the lemon juice and sugar are going to soak down into the cake, making the cake really gooey and moist. And the caster sugar is going to dry on the surface of the cake, making it have a nice little crunchy surface. So we're going to spoon that over. And by leaving it in the loaf tin, enables the lemon juice and the caster sugar to really soak into the cake rather than running off the sides. Just picked up a small amount of parchment paper there that was knocking about on the top around the side of the cake. Now, if you want a crunchier top of your cake, if you like a crunchy top, then you can actually use granulated sugar rather than caster sugar. But I have used caster sugar. There we go. Okay. Looking fabulous. I'm going to leave that now to cool down in the tin. The parchment paper means that we're going to be able to take the cake out of the tin really nice and easy. But I want all of those juices of that lemon juice and caster sugar to really soak into the cake, making the surface of it nice and crunchy, but making the middle of it really, really moist. The middle of the cake is by far my favourite bit. So we'll leave that and we will turn it out once it cooled down completely. So here is our completed lemon drizzle cake, looking very moist and very crunchy on the top. I got my parents coming around for a little cup of tea in the garden momentarily, so we will sit out and have a nice piece of lemon drizzle cake. I hope you find the recipe easy to follow. It's another relatively easy cake, so you shouldn't go too far wrong if you follow the instructions, and I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!